Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Avery and this is 6 months of motherhood. Baby is actually still asleep right now, which is crazy. He knows when I'm not close to him, and it's like he can smell me, and he literally jolts up and he's like, where are you going? You know what I mean? Today, I wanted to reminisce and talk about the first 6 months of motherhood. Now that I've been a mom for 7 months, my baby literally is 7 months today. So I just wanted to like reflect and go over, you know, my experience as a mom for the first 6 months, and just like, I don't know, I guess like kind of what to expect, but at the same time, this is just like my personal journey, and I think I just kind of want to share that and, you know, reminisce and talk about it. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. I went ahead and I put some stuff in my notes because I knew I was not going to be able to stay on topic. And also I wanted to make sure that my mind, like, you know, I didn't wander off too much. So we'll start with the first thing, which is labor and delivery. I was in labor for about 16 hours. I'm not going to disclose exactly what time he was born. Just know he was born in the afternoon. We went into the hospital pretty early in the morning, and I mean, like, I took it like a champ. Y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I really did take it like a champ. The way like the women be, they screaming and squealing, and there's nothing wrong if that's what you're doing and if that's what's going on, but I genuinely feel like I took it like a champ. I really wanted to try the nitrous, but there were so many babies being born that day. You know how long it took us to get into a delivery room? It took them hours to get us into a delivery room, so they couldn't even set up the nitrous so that I could even try it out, because I was just stuck in triage for such a long time. If you want a full labor and delivery story, I can definitely give that, but I did end up getting an epidural. I had jazz music playing the entire time, and I just was trying to focus and stay calm and remain calm. That's probably the best thing you can do in that situation, at least for me it was. And before I knew it, my baby was here. So it was great. I literally welcomed him into the world with jazz music playing. I really wanted a spontaneous like water break, and I didn't think it was going to happen because I didn't know anybody whose water actually broke by itself. Mine actually broke. Sleep when the baby sleeps. And I'm saying that personally because I started hallucinating literally 3 days after I left the hospital. Felt like if I were to go to sleep, something would happen. So I genuinely stayed up as long as I possibly could. I would probably sleep for like 2-minute increments, if that. Caused hallucinations. I was hearing the baby cry and the baby was asleep. It also caused extremely high blood pressure, and it sent me back into the hospital. I had him, left the hospital, came back 3 days after I left the hospital, and they were like, girl, you gotta calm down. I had a full-on mental breakdown because my baby's first doctor's appointment was that day, and it seemed like we were going to be in the hospital for a while, and I literally like went up to the front desk and I was like, oh my gosh, my baby's appointment is coming up and I just feel so bad. I'm starting to feel a little better. Like, is there any way that you know, they ended up releasing me. They told me to get some sleep and to monitor my blood pressure. I could tell they felt really bad for me. What can you do? Okay, it's over now. In the moment, was it awful? Yes. Were my hormones high? Extremely. Am I okay now? Somewhat, you know, like it's definitely better than it was. While I have it on my mind, I will say the adrenaline you have as a new mom, where you're able to just stay up all day, and you're like, you can get up early in the morning, that runs off. You lose that, you know, maybe about 5 to 6 months in. It was probably closer to 6 for me. I lost that ability. Like, I have to sleep. My body literally was like, you have not slept in 6 months. No, stop doing this. We need to sleep. And I was like, oh, okay. The newborn trenches are just that, the trenches. They really are. Don't take them for granted because it gets a little wild, cuckoo crazy after. I slept in the living room for the first 2 weeks because I was scared something would happen in the room. Now, one of my best friends had a baby last year, And when I got pregnant, we were talking and whatnot. And she told me she did the exact same thing. I don't know if she put it in my head that something would happen if we tried to go to sleep in the room, or if I felt like I would just go to too deep of a sleep, or I would fall asleep in the bed with him, because they put melatonin in the babies. They put melatonin in the babies. I don't know what else to tell you. You're going to fall asleep with that baby. It's going to happen at least once. I like, genuinely. And I was just like, what if he just like what if, I just thought of the worst. So I just was like, I avoided the room for the first 2 weeks. Like, I moved into my living room and I slept on the couch. I brought his bedside bassinet out here and I just made it work. Okay, I was out here going through it, but I made it work. I guess I felt like my room was like a cage in a way, and I didn't want to be caged in, you know what I mean? Since my fiance was on maternity leave, when we were out here, we were watching a lot of stuff. I believe it's called His and Hers. I believe it's called His and Hers. I feel like I should fact check myself. Yes, it's called His and Hers. We watched that as soon as it dropped. And we stayed up and we watched it, we finished it the night that it came out. Becoming a mother around the time that dropped hit a little different. It did, it hit a little different. What got me through the newborn trenches was just like TV, if I'm being completely honest. And His and Hers was really good. That was like probably the first show we watched while, you know, being postpartum. He wasn't postpartum, but him being on leave. And then me personally, I rewatched my fave, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I literally was just binging it. Binged it, rewatched it a little bit. Then I went into The Legend of Korra. I rewatched it, and then you know what we were watching? Phineas and Ferb. I don't know. I felt like I just needed something familiar, I guess, while I was figuring out this unfamiliar thing. There were some days that I felt like I wanted to be alone, or that me and the baby weren't connecting. Genuinely, I think it was all in my head. I mean, he was a fresh newborn baby. He obviously wanted his mom. I had days where I was like, you can have the baby for as long as you want. Just leave me alone. With an hour by myself to just like recuperate, or like, you know, reset my mind, which I don't think is crazy. And I don't think you should be hard on yourself or feel bad about it if you are going through something very similar, because I mean, hey, we just went through 9 months. 9 months of sharing your body with somebody. However long you went through labor, you went through the labor and delivery, you know what I mean? If you had to get an epidural, or if you had to get drugged up, whatever the case may be, if you went natural, anything, you know? And that's a big deal. You go through all of that for you to have that baby and go home with that baby and have this new life that you have to get used to. You know, it's no longer just you and feeling the baby, it's you and the baby. You can't compare your routine to anybody else's, especially like as a newborn. Like, you'll figure it out. You will figure it out, and it's important that you're patient with yourself and with the baby. And if you need a second to yourself, take a second. When I was starting to adjust and it was just me and my fiance, mostly me, you know, because I'm the mom, I called on the Lord. That's all I felt like I can do. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I just let him know, hey, if I don't got it, give it to me. If I don't have the strength, give it to me. If I have the ability, give it to me, please. Please, 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 please. And just keep my son in your hands and keep him safe, and give me the tools and the instincts and whatever I need to be able to provide for him and be whatever I need to be for him. Yeah, I think I was just overthinking it because I needed time to myself. I've always been somebody who values their alone time. Like, genuinely, I love being by myself, and if I don't get enough alone time, I'm angry. I think I just like needed that time to myself, and me thinking that I needed that time to myself was me thinking that like I didn't want to be around my son. And it's not that I didn't want to be around my son, I just needed to be alone for a little bit, which I think is normal. Breastfeeding. So I am exclusively breastfeeding at this point. I was pumping and breastfeeding. I always thought I was just gonna pump so that everybody could feed the baby and so that my fiance could feed the baby, but he latched on in the hospital literally in golden hour, like that first hour of their life. Like, he latched on no problem. And I mean, we had a few struggles here and there with it, but overall, like, he was able to be breastfed, so I breastfed him. Don't let the nurses in the hospital stress you out when it comes to breastfeeding. I feel like they made things more difficult for me than what they needed to be. I think I was doing a great job looking back at it, and they just were like, he needs to be eating this, he needs to be eating it, blah 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 blah. I'm new at this, and so is he. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying his best. Please, he's my friend. Stop. He's trying. He's okay. He's eating. Okay. Became a overproducer, and it was extremely painful. Those first few days, weeks, whatever, when your milk is really coming in, it was very hard for me. For some reason, it didn't click in my head, even though I did my research and I watched all the videos on like breastfeeding and pumping and storage and all that. For some reason, it didn't click in my head, really, the system, until I was doing it myself for a couple of weeks. I have thousands of ounces of milk stored. Like, there's still till this day milk everywhere, and I stopped pumping in April. It's the end of July. I was literally probably producing, on average, and this is on, I'll just say on average, at least 48 to 52 ounces a day. There could be more, but I was starting to lose my mind. Every time I would pull the pumps out, I literally, it was like the happiness, it was like the soul left my body. Like, the happiness, any ounce of happiness I had was diminished, completely gone. Life was not worth living, Justin. It just wasn't. So slowly but surely, I went from pumping every 2 hours to every 4 hours, to pumping 4 times a day, to 3, to 2, to 1, to eventually just exclusively breastfeeding. Beginning, I was like, oh, I'll feed him, I got him. Like, I don't know, I thought I was gonna be one of those people who like exclusively pumped, but like, it is true, you do bond with your baby when you're breastfeeding and nursing them. And like, I was in full mama bear mode. I was like, I got it, I will feed him, it's fine, it's my job, what else am I here for? I feel like my supply right now, strangely, is like the first time it's like starting to really quote unquote dip. Even if it did, he has plenty of milk to drink, and I feed on demand. We don't have like a schedule or anything. I was going every 2 hours for a while. Now I'm just like, eventually you can just tell when your baby's hungry. I just go with the flow. We just go with the flow. Also, like, don't feel like you have to follow other people's breast pumping and all that, they're scheduled to a T. Go with what works for you. I was posting on like TikTok and stuff, what are our realistic pumping schedules and this, that, and the third, just for me to just stop pumping completely. It literally was making me depressed. Like, it really was. It was like ruining my experience. He took a bottle day 4, by the way, of being home. But like the breast-like nipples on the bottles, those are the only nipples that he will take till this day. I tell people this all the time. Of course, I have my days and we have our days, and it's not always easy, but my son has made the transition into motherhood very easy for me. I feel like, you know, we just kind of flowed into it, you know? That's my dog. That's my dude. I love him. Is that him? I'll be right back. We're back. Sorry. He's up. We had to brush his teeth, get his day started. So, and if you see me looking off to the side, my phone's about to die. And I have my notes all on my phone. The first few months, I really feel like we were just, especially me, I was just in survival mode. Like, just keep the baby alive and just keep myself alive. Like, seriously. As long as we make it to the next day, I did something right. I feel like during this time, you're gaining your confidence. You're learning to trust your maternal instincts, and you know, you're learning your baby's cues, and you know, when they're hungry, when they're wet, maybe when their stomach's hurting. You're literally gaining that confidence within yourself and your ability to be a mother. I feel like I was on autopilot, because like now if I think back to it, it's kind of a blur, but if I really sit back and like think about it, of course I can remember so many things. If we were just having a casual conversation and you were like, oh, how was the newborn, I'd be like, and I really feel like that's because I was just on autopilot. Like, I really was just like on go, survive the next day, you got this, keep them alive, keep them alive, keep them alive, keep them alive. That's all that was running through my head. Also, the like surrealness of it all, you know, for so long I like literally just wondered what he looked like. And to have this newborn baby in my arms, and I can hold him and I can kiss him and I could snuggle him and see his face, it was surreal. Like all these moments, like him, he's right here, he's sitting up, he's playing. He's so cute. Like he's so cute. Like he's cuter than I could have ever imagined. Playing with his box. Dealing with health issues. First, I'm just going to talk about eczema and get that out of the way because it's something that we're still currently dealing with. He does have pretty bad eczema. I would say his eczema gets pretty mild to severe some days. Last week he was having a very bad flare-up, and we were having, like, literally every night was a hard night. He was waking up constantly, he was itchy, he was uncomfortable. I had to rock him and like hold him to sleep most nights. He's about to go see an allergist and a dermatologist for the first time because it's just getting to the point where it's like, is it allergy related? Another health related thing, when my baby was a newborn, he used to do this thing where he would like gasp for air. He would hold his breath and like gasp for air. I started getting very concerned. Like it was just spooking me, and he would do it all the time. So like I brought it up to his pediatrician, not once but twice, and she ended up referring him to a neurologist. I believe he was 2 months at the time, and the neurologist checked him out, looked at him. He was like, he looks great. Like he's in great health. He looks perfectly fine. He's physically, it looks like, you know, he's hitting all his marks, all his cues, all his milestones that he's supposed to be at right now. It doesn't look like anything's wrong with him. So of course I'm like, oh my God, am I like crazy? You know what I mean? Like, am I like out of my mind? We say goodbye to the doctor. The doctor leaves the room. We're like packing up, putting the baby back in the car seat to go. He comes back in the room and he goes, you know what? You're obviously here for a reason. We're gonna order a MRI scan just in case. It might be overkill, but we would rather be safe than sorry. It was a couple of days before he turned 3 months, my baby got a full-on MRI scan. I mean, he's in the huge white machine. They had to like strap him down, and he did amazing. He literally did amazing. I was more shook up about it than he was. Sitting there watching him go through that. The guy, the MRI tech who did it, he was like, oh, if he moves, we're probably gonna have to redo it and blah, 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 blah. He didn't move at all, and it was perfect. We literally were done in like 5 minutes. And to think I wasn't gonna go to this appointment, because I was like, because he ended up stopping. He did end up stopping. He stopped doing the whole gasping for air thing. So I was like, oh, we don't even need to go. It took a while for us to get our actual results back. Almost 2 months, like a month and a half, almost 2 months. Come to find out, he had a cyst on his skull, which I had felt actually before we even went in for his MRI scan, because I used to rub his head all the time. Like, he doesn't really let me do it anymore, but so rub his head. And one day I just felt like a little lump on the back of his head on the left side. I remember asking my fiance, I was like, is this normal? Like, do you have one of these? Because I was like, maybe it's hereditary. We got a phone call from one of the techs or from a nurse maybe about a month and a half before we got to the actual neurologist appointment, so where they were going to break down and tell us everything they found on his scan. Go in May 26th, there's this little itty bitty doctor. She was so cute, so professional, doing surgeries and working with the brain longer than I had even been alive. And she tells us he has a cyst on his skull and that she recommends getting it out ASAP. I can do a full story time of like the whole shabam, but just know he ended up getting the cyst removed, and he's healing great. He's still trying to grow his hair back where he had to get his hair shaved, and there is a scar, but like it's such a clean incision. We're just happy everything went well. Trust your instincts when it comes to your baby, okay? Like, because if I would have never been vouching for, even though it was unrelated, if I would have never been vouching for my son or advocating for him, we would have never found that out. Man, he gets around now. Like, when I say he's about to start crawling any day now, it's nuts. Like, I'm about to get him one of those like nugget couch things. The baby race. If you know, you know. Do not, for the love of everything, compare your baby's milestones to another child's milestones. Sorry, he's playing with his blocks. I'm sorry if it's loud. I tried to film this before he got up. Genuinely, there's just no point in comparing milestones. Like, everybody develops differently at different times. It's one thing if your baby is like significantly behind, but your pediatrician or their doctor will let you know that. But overall, it's not going to do anything but like upset you, if I'm being completely honest. I think what you should do is focus on all of the amazing accomplishments that your baby is doing rather than what they're not doing, because you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. Practice everything with your baby. I feel like it doesn't matter when you start doing it, but consistency is key. Talk to your child like they are a normal person. Use what is it called? Parentanese or babinese. Basically, you talking like in a higher tone. You make it fun for them, but use real words, full on conversations with them like they're real people, because they're real people. Practice everything with them, talking, signs if you want to do signs, literally just everything. Just practice, consistency as much as you can. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, we have our days where like we don't do our flashcards, but we try and at least do them once a day. We try and read him a book every day. Talk to your pediatrician about any concerns that you may have about any milestones and go from there. But again, do not compare your baby to anybody else's baby, because that's not your baby, and vice versa. Becoming literal mama bear. I didn't know until it was me. When you have a baby, it's like your animalistic instincts kick in and you literally become mama bear. Like, you literally are just like in protective mode, keep your baby safe and alive and healthy. It's like, you know how dogs and cats get like when the dads try. I think that's like a universal thing. At least it was for us. Not that I don't love my fiance and not that he doesn't love his baby, but like, I just like, I don't know what else to say. I think it's a normal thing though. I've talked to some other women about it, and like, it seems like it's just something that we do naturally after we have a baby, because that's our baby. Like, it's literally just the maternal instinct. I genuinely would go to war over my son. Like, I would run through a burning building. I would lift a car. The strength I have as a mother, the lengths I would go to for my son are endless. Okay, like literally endless. Like, that is my child, and I will protect him from any and everybody. Like, anything and everybody, he is protected. In all seriousness, being a mother is such an honor. The fact that God has trusted me to be the parent of somebody who is like I get to raise him, like, the best thing that's ever happened to me. My baby is like the light of my world, and being able to spend time with him and teach him and just like be his mom is literally just such a gift, and I would not change anything for the world. Like, he's perfect, and I'm just enjoying motherhood. I just can't wait for everything, you know what I mean? Like, one day he's not gonna be a little baby anymore. Now I'm gonna get into like my personal advice, and some of these things I kind of already hit on as I was going through the topics. Always ask questions and advocate for your baby when you're at your appointments. You know your child. You know what's going on. Ooh, this is a good one. Don't be so hard on yourself. Parenting is not easy. There is no guidebook. It is something that we all just kind of learn along the way. I don't think you should beat yourself up. I think as long as you are showing up every day and you're trying your best and you are nurturing your child and you are trying to do what's best for them and take care of them and show up for them every day, there's no reason for you to beat yourself down. There are days where I'm like, oh, I could have done more. I could have read him more books, or I could have blah, 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 blah. Sometimes we have lazy days, and that's okay. Like, don't let the internet or people around you make you feel like you have to be on go every single day. Sometimes you need rest, and sometimes that involves a lazy day, okay? And that's perfectly fine, because I feel like a lot of people actually don't do this, which I think is crazy, because during my pregnancy and like while like becoming a mom, I research everything. Say, mama, Yeah, I research everything. I don't know how people just kind of go into things blind. I will watch a million trillion things on TikTok. I will research on Google. I talk to other people about things. I talk to his pediatrician. I'm going to do my research. I'm not just going to blindly follow what somebody says. And even if you do see something on TikTok, make sure you do research beyond TikTok. Do not forget about all the things that you love to do, all of your hobbies. Make sure you make time to watch your movies and your TV shows. If you like to crochet, make sure you have time to crochet. If you like to game, make sure you spend a little bit of time gaming. Don't forget about yourself, because it's so easy to fall into this like mom mode, which is fine. You can make being a mother your whole personality, especially the first few years of your baby's life. I mean, it's my whole personality. It's all I talk about right now. It's literally my life right now. It's new, it's fresh. Every day is something new. Remember to take care of yourself, because I feel like that's where a lot of postpartum depression comes in. Forgetting about you, you know what I mean? And I feel like when you become a mother, you're no matter how good your village is, no matter how much help you have, or you lose a little bit of who you are, because you are trying to figure out who your baby is and you're becoming somebody new. It's important to pour into yourself just as it is important to pour into the baby. Here's one of my favorites. I say you should start your own family traditions. I think that was one thing I was really excited about when becoming a mom. We're always going to celebrate his happy birthday. Just remember that you are in charge of somebody's childhood. You are in charge of somebody's core memories. And when you think about it like that, I feel like it makes it a lot more fun as well. You get to build their childhood. Everything that you pour into them is what they're going to remember, and they're going to be older, and there might be things that they do with their kids that's so special. Hi, cutie baby, cutie baby, cutie baby. Yeah, mama talked about you. Enjoy every second, because it's true what they say. Time flies by, and they're only a baby once. They will never be this little again, and that's what I told myself every time you hit another milestone, every sleepless night, and all the tough and easy days. You'll never be this little again. You know that? Oh, you've been chippy. That is it for today's video. I just kind of wanted to reflect, reminisce, and go down memory lane and talk about my experience as being a mom for 6 months. My baby is 7 months today. You're 7 months today. It has been wonderful, joyous, amazing, tiring, exciting. There is no hood like motherhood, genuinely. This is a positive space for being a mom. I know we get online a lot of the time and we see people who are not saying the things that I'm saying, let's just say that, but I love being a mom. I have dreamt about being a mom for so long, and I dreamt of this baby for so long, and he's here, and I'm just so blessed to have been able to start my little family and get to stay home with him and just, you know, grow him and nurse him and all of the good things. Ain't that right? Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye? No, we're working on it. We're working on it.